لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين به ونستهديه ونستغفره ونسترشده ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق أجمعين سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب رب العالمين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبع هديه واتبع سنته إلى يوم الدين. اللهم اجعلنا معهم في عليين من غير سابقة عذاب ولا حساب. آمين يا رب العالمين. Dear brothers and sisters, last khutbah I've started a series of khutbah that talks about al-ihsan. And al-ihsan, subhanallah, it's a word that can be translated to so many words and phrases in English. And subhanAllah, there's nothing like the Arabic words that one word can take care of a whole conversation and a whole topic. Al-ihsan, how to do your best to reach the highest level of achievement, of excellency in whatever you want to achieve. So we spoke about al-ihsan. Even in fighting your enemies, you have to exert ihsan. Even your relationship with your Lord, before anything, with Allah, you have to achieve ihsan. Your ibadah, your relationship with the whole world. Today, and inshallah ongoing, we're gonna choose one topic at a time and apply ihsan. And go home with the homework. Go home with something that you need to do in action and teach your family and friends about. And nothing here is new. It's only dhikra. Dhikra, it's a reminder for ourselves and our brothers about something all of us already know. But this is how the deen and da'wah goes. You have to always remind one another of goodness and prevent one another from evil. And I'll start this series by what I believe after, purifying tawheed, purifying iman, which needs a lot other series of itself. Talk about today is the parents and how to do ihsan and birr al-walidain. Something that most of us know for sure, but we take it for granted and we need to be reminded on the exact application and what is being expected from Allah, from us toward Allah and toward our parents. And let's look at this ayah in Surah An-Nisa, verse 36. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم واعبدوا الله ولا تشركوا به شيئا وبالوالدين إحسانا واعبدوا الله وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. So the real purpose of our creation, our being here, is to worship Allah Azza wa Jal. By applying every aspect of awamir in our lives, all the orders, all the do's, this ibadah is not just the rituals. Everything you do from the time you wake up until you sleep, it's part of ibadah if it was done the way Allah wants us to do it, not the way we want to do it. And the way Muhammad ﷺ has applied as our ultimate superhero role model. Now, imagine when Allah Azza wa Jal, not only in this ayat, many ayat, speaks about ihsan and birr of your parents, be the best you can to your parents. Just after Allah speaks about ibadah and tawheed. وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا. Worship Allah and never associate with Allah any partner, anyone else. And immediately says, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. And be the best child to your parents. Treat them with the best manners. Put their needs before your own. Look after them till the last day of your life. And look at the other ayah that says about the same thing in a different way. And this is in Surah Luqman, verse 14 and 15. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه حملته أمه وهنا على وهن وفصاله في عامين أن اشكر لي ولوالديك إلي المصير وإن جاهداك على أن تشرك بي ما ليس لك به علم فلا تطعهما وصاحبهما في الدنيا معروفا. This is a really important information for us, especially for the young generation. Some young generation think that dealing with parents is two-way. If they're good to me, I'm good to them. If they're not, I shouldn't be. It's like a business relationship. It's either win-win or lose-lose. This is what the modern civilization that has no morale related to the Creator, this is what it brought to our lives. And it's important for us to remind our children that we are people of faith, mu'mineen. We apply the morals in our life that came from Allah and Allah only. And that's all the goodness we need. Even if your parents, according to this ayat, may Allah forbid, even if they are mushrikeen, they are kuffar, even if they are oppressors over others, they don't believe in the existence of Allah, or they believe in any other man-made religion, you are still required to be the best companion for them in the best way you can. This will tell us the importance of birrul walidain. And this is where a lot of even us adults miss on teaching our children, because we want them to be happy. We want to give and then give and then give and not ask for anything in return. Don't ask anything in return, but at least teach them their role. Because if you don't, you are to be blamed. I am to be blamed. If I don't teach my children the importance of birrul walidain wa silatil arham, where will they learn it? And even if they learn it as a literal meaning, in application, how can they learn it if you don't teach it to them and you don't show them the way you do, exerting ihsan to your own parents? And they should know and witness that. And we have to remember, this attribute, this sifa, this ihsan was mentioned as part of the description of the Anbiya and Mursaleen. And in Surah Maryam, قال الله عز وجل وبرا بوالديه ولم يكن جبارا عصيا, talking about Yahya alayhi salam. When Allah wanted to praise Yahya, He praised him with this description, that he was bar biwalidayhi, good to his parent, the best child to his parents. And also in Surah Maryam, talking about Isa alayhi salam, saying the same description, وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا. Isa alayhi salam talking about himself, and when he was few days old, describing himself as that Allah have commanded me, he's talking about himself, I have to be good to my mom, bar, muhsin, and not jabbar, shaqi, not arrogant, and not someone who is away from the way of Allah Azza wa Jal. Dear brothers and sisters, birrul walidain is a huge topic, but let's put it in practice. I want to learn or relearn, how can I be bar biwalidain? I'm going to read this in Arabic inshallah and explain it in English. عباد الله المقصود ببر الوالدين الإحسان إليهما بجميع وجوه الإحسان قولا وفعلا. الإحسان بالكلام الطيب وخفض الصوت والصلة المستمرة والإحسان بالخدمة وبذل المال وقضاء الحوائج والرفق بهما بمراعاة المشاعر وجبر الخواطر والبحث عن رضاهما وتحصيل محبوباتهما. These are some examples of the type of ihsan that we should show our parents and deal with them accordingly. Such as, you have to talk to them the best way possible, with a low voice, with a smile, with love and care. You have to communicate الصلة المستمرة constantly with them, whether you live with them or they are away. How many of our younger high school, middle school, or university students, they live in the same house with their parents? How often they communicate with their parents in an ihsan way? Or is it only, oh, where is the food, mom? Where is the key? I want to go to my friends. This casual, non-planned communication. If you're sick, you tell them you're sick. If you want to buy something, or if you see them on the, nowadays, even on the food table, seldom people really gather because of maybe the difference of timing, and it doesn't seem important anymore. That is not right. We have to bring back the habit and the action of ihsan in our homes by communicating properly with our children, and our children communicate with us. That's a huge aspect of ihsan. And we as parents, we only feel what we're missing when our children, we become empty nested. When our nest becomes empty of our children, they grew up, they traveled, they got married, or they had a job far from us. Now we see, la hawla wa la quwwata. I wish I had more time with them. I wish I taught them more. I wish I smelled them and hugged them and spoke to them more. So it works both ways. Parents and children should work together to achieve the ihsan in this amazing sacred relationship that is mentioned in the Quran and Hadith in so many places. What else? بالخدمة وبذل المال وقضاء الحوائج. Let us face the truth. I'm a parent. I have 6 children. Honestly, I think twice before asking any of my kids to do something for me. Why is that? Because I want to be the giving person. I don't want to get them tired. Maybe they have homework. Maybe they're busy doing this and that. This is wrong. This is wrong. Our kids should be available to serve and to say yes for any request, even if they have to give up an appointment or a gathering or something personal that they want to do. We have reached to a time that it's not easy to ask them even to cut the grass of their own backyard, or take the garbage out. Why not? It is ihsan, it is birr al-walidain. This is something we parents should overcome and teach them and tell them, it's not because I need you, I can take out the garbage by myself. It is because I want you to be a muhsin in your relationship, a bar. If a parent will think twice, or a child will say no, this is part of uquq. And we're going to come by knowing what is the uquq and how difficult it is. And sometimes we set our kids to be a'aq without knowing. So it's also on our shoulder as parents to teach our children birr al-walidain wa salat al-rahim. Lowering the voice, communicating, al-khidma wa bakl al-mal, even money. Yes, as long as my child works and he can, even if I don't need his money, it is important for us as families that the children participate and give gifts and pay bills sometimes, or fill up gas, or help their parents without waiting the parents to ask. The parents will never ask. The younger generation should look for any reason, any opportunity to support their parents. Because we especially nowadays, We try our best not to make the level of living of our kids less than last year or the year before. We go through recession, we go through inflation, we have multiple jobs, it's up and down. And we don't want our kids to suffer or feel they're going through, the parents are going through some financial difficulties. As parents, it's kind of a pride, an ego that I want my kids always to look at me as strong and big and giving. But as young generation, that is, you have to be more smart to become muhsin and look every opportunity, how can I be a participant, a positive participant in the house, especially even when it comes to giving money or serving or contributing. الرفق بمشاعرهم وجبر الخواطر, and to be honest, maybe this is the most important one. Sadly, the material world that we live in makes our children don't know how to even use the proper words, the proper phrases, the proper gesture, the proper communication and body language. If someone just like waving your hand in front of the face of your dad or mom, this is big uquq. Uquq, which is against ihsan, against birr. This can throw someone to the hellfire forever. Yeah, but I didn't mean it. Well, I don't care. You did hurt your parents. Making your voice higher with your gesture, banging the door behind you when they take away something from you, or they tell you, you know what, you can't go out with your friends. I've seen this in many, many houses of my friends and people visit. Banging a door, and then when you tell the father, I mean, how did you allow this? He's a bit mad. I know he has a good heart. Again, the fathers should not allow this. You need to talk to our children. This is very dangerous. Maybe we forgive as parents. Actually, we always forgive. But there is a haqq for Allah Azza wa Jal. There is a haqq for our deen. That cannot be forgiven just like because you forgive. We have to be very careful. This jabr al-khawatir wa mura'at al-masha'ir, being so sensitive emotionally about did my dad tonight or my mom slept and they have some pain in their heart because of my attitude today or yesterday? You have to check that. Don't take it for granted. And the parents are very good in hiding their emotions for their kids, because again, we want to be giving. We want to give, even we sacrifice our own feelings. But that is not fair on the type of kids. They have to know. They have to know. And imagine that Allah Azza wa Jal have also made Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam teach us so many things, such as سئل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أي العمل أحب إلى الله. Look how the importance. I can't, mashallah, so many ahadith and ayat. I'm choosing very few. Our beloved Sahaba and Tabi'een were asking always Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to guide them to the best act of worship. What can get us closest to Allah? Please, let's learn this attitude. Looking for always to exert ihsan. Out of so many things that we can do, the Sahaba is asking what is the best to be done. And in this beautiful hadith, they ask which worship or an act or an action that is most beloved to Allah. And Allah told them, and this is another lesson for especially the young people and the old ones as well. قال الصلاة على وقتها. Praying on time. Praying on time is the best and most beloved action of all worship, action of obedience to Allah. Pray on time. If you are watching something, doing something, studying something, walking, doing, when your mobile phone or the masjid, say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. The attitude of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he stops speaking if he is talking to anybody. He leaves everything behind, go make wudu and do salah. And the best, of course, jama'ah if you can. But not keep it to the last few minutes. Oh, mashallah, I still have a couple of hours. That's not what is the most beloved to Allah. What's the second? They ask him, the Sahaba wants to know more. So they said, ثُمَّ أَيْ قُلْتُ ثُمَّ أَيْ. That's of course Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. قُلْتُ ثُمَّ أَيْ قال بِرُّ الْوَالِدَيْنِ. So what's after the salah? Muhammad ﷺ said, بِرُّ الْوَالِدَيْنِ. Kindness to your parents. Kindness to your parents. And then the Sahabi said, قُلْتُ ثُمَّ أَيْ قال الْجِهَادُ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Then what ya Rasulullah? So you told me about salah on time. It's not salah, it's on time. Salah by default is there on time. The second is being kind to your parents. And the third is al-jihadu fi sabilillah. Imagine al-jihadu fi sabilillah. When you put your life, your money, everything you have, fi sabilillah, to defend Islam, to defend la ilaha illallah, being kind to your parents comes before that, comes first. Just after the salah. And another hadith that is related to the same meaning, جاء رجل إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يستأذنه في الجهاد فقال أحي والدك؟ قال نعم. قال ففيهما أو والديك، يمكن هي مش مكتوبة خطأ، أحي والديك؟ قال نعم. قال ففيهما فجاهد. متفق عليه. A man came and he wants to go out with Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم for a battle that Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم need to fight. So he asked that man, any of your parents is alive? He said both. He said go and exert jihad with your parents. Jihad with your parents. And there are other ahadith that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told another person, do your parents permit you to go for jihad? He said no. He said you can't go, stay with them. So certain type of jihad, there is a jihad dafa' and jihad fatih or rafa'. Unless it is necessary by all means, you cannot even do jihad without asking permission of your parents. That's how important. And there's another hadith that al-jannah, فَثَمَّ الْجَنَّةِ, go to your mom and stay with her. The jannah that you want to achieve by doing jihad is available under the feet of your mom. So many hadith talks about this. And this is one of the scary ones that tell us if we don't do that. So one of the ways that scholars weigh how important, how rukun or fard or wajib is this action is by knowing the punishment for not doing it or for doing the opposite. أخرج مسلم في صحيحه من حديث أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال رغم أنف 3 times. قيل من يا رسول الله؟ قال من أدرك أبويه عند الكبر أحدهما أو كليهما فلم يدخل الجنة. Muhammad صلى الله على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم have said رغم أنفه. In the normal English, maybe you would say he is cursed, or pity for him, or a huge punishment someone is going to face, or such a big loser. And then the Sahaba, there was no muqaddimat, there was no introduction into what he's going to say. He just said 3 times, curse him, or pity on him, or such a loser that person is. Then who ya Rasulullah? 3 times they asked him, who ya Rasulullah? And he said, the one who lived with 1 or 2 of his parents. Like he met his parents. Some people are born orphans. So if you're not born orphan, so you have spent some time where your parents are available in your life. So that person who had the chance to live with his parents, 1 or both, and she or he was not granted Jannah, he is a big loser. She is a big loser. Because this is the easiest gate from my point of view to go to Jannah. Because the easiest people on earth that you can please with the minimum of good action are your parents. You do little, they see it huge. You say salam to them every time you see them. Give them a smile and look how much this will make them happy. See the small action? On the other hand, it will take you forever to please your boss, to please your community, to please your friend, to please your wife. You're going to do 24/7 thinking and planning to please them. And one small mistake, they're not happy with you anymore. With parents, you do little, and subhanallah, the dua they will give you. They can spend even more and more time with you, support you with all they can. Because it's the only unconditional love that Allah created in humans. It is the love of parents to their children. A lot of parents, I've seen it with my eyes. Their kids hurts them, hurts their feelings. In a way, sometimes physically, wallahi, physically. And the mom will say, it's okay, I mean, he didn't mean it. He was under depression, he had a fight with it. What? This is the parents. So inshallah, it's a long khutbah. We can never end, but it's an important message that through our lives, through our busy schedule, don't forget the foundation of our faith, like the tawheed, and now the actions like the salah, being good to parents. We have to keep reminding one another, or we will just be busy and then lose it before it's too late. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم من فوز المستغفرين فاستغفروا الله يغفر لكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، عباد الله، إن عقوق الوالدين من كبائر الذنوب كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم: الكبائر الإشراك بالله وعقوق الوالدين وقتل النفس واليمين الغموس. متفق عليه. There is a set of sins are called kaba'ir in Islam. The huge sins. The sins that if you don't make tawbah, you are in a big trouble. A sin that no excuse for committing them unless the shaitan is all around your life. And those sets of sins, we need to learn them and teach them to our kids. And some ulama said there are 7 kaba'ir, some say 10, some say more. It doesn't mean, the number is not what the issue now. It is we have to know which sins are the most hurtful and painful to our lives, and which sins are huge in the eyes of Allah Azza wa Jal, and it's very hard, to accept them as Muslims. Such as, according to this hadith, al-ishraku billah, associating anyone with Allah Azza wa Jal, and that's the sin that takes people out of Islam immediately. And imagine the second one is وعقوق الوالدين, and being bad to your parents, treating them badly. And imagine the third one is وقتل النفس, killing others. In this hadith, the sequence, the worst thing you can do is associate someone with Allah Azza wa Jalla in your worship. The second is being bad to your parents. The third is killing people or killing a nafs unjustly if you have no authority, right? See the importance, and when we say kaba'ir, please go read how hard it is to have a kaba'ir. I will end up by one last thing. What about if my parents have passed away? And that happens to most of people my age, 50s, 60s of their age. Most of us, we lost one or two of our parents. Is it done, alhamdulillah, this huge duty that you, Imam of Jum'ah today, made me so responsible about? Until you die, you have to do birr al-walidain. Until you die, you have to be good to your parents, even if they have passed away before you were even born. How? Of course, many ways. You start by doing dua for them. You start by giving sadaqah when they pass away, even in their lives. You give charity, and you do multiple niyyah. That charity on behalf of my parents, so Allah will elevate their status in Jannah and forgive their sins. And at the same time, this charity is to protect me from evil and protect my children. Same time, this charity is to do this and that. Multiple niyyah can be done in those beautiful actions of charity. What else? You be the son they love you to be, whether they see you or they passed away. Remember always the advices of your dad and mom. Try always to reflect as if they are still living with you. Make them proud of you. One of the things also, visit their relatives, your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, their friends. If you know someone who is close friend to your dad and your dad passed away, go visit that friend sometimes. Contact him and say, my dad used to say all good things about you. He used to love you. Wallahi, I really want to cry because I'm saying this and I know I need to do a lot. We need to do a lot. It's important. Don't get too busy for doing those things. It matters. It matters a lot. A lot of us, our parents are away. Communicate with them not just by the phone. Go physically be with them. Support them. It's a doors of Jannah. And whatever we do to our parents, our kids will do to us. And we have to tell our children, whatever you do to your parents, your kids will do to you. This has been proven. And the cycle goes on and on until Yawm al-Qiyamah. Dear brothers and sisters, with what's going on in Gaza, in Syria, in Lebanon, in the Rohingya, in China, in Burma, with all of that, it is so important to have healthy families who have good relationship with each other. And that relationship comes with ihsan and birr. And that relationship, that healthy family will produce citizens and children who can help Palestine, help India, help Muslims all over the world and be productive. But if that relationship is corrupted, there's not much that these kids or this family can do. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا اللهم ارحمنا فوق الأرض وتحت الأرض ويوم العرض عليك اللهم لا تجعل لنا في مقامنا هذا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة لك فيها رضا ولنا فيها قضاء إلا يسرتها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. اللهم اجعلنا من البارين بآبائنا وأمهاتنا. اللهم اجعل أبناءنا وبناتنا بارين بنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم اغفر لنا تقصيرنا في حق أنفسنا وفي حق ربنا وفي حق رسولنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم باتباع سنته يا رب العالمين. اللهم اغفر لنا تقصيرنا في حق فلسطين والبيت المقدس وسوريا ولبنان وفي كل مكان يحتاج منا الله عز وجل أن نكون داعمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم تقبل منا صيامنا ودعاءنا وقرآننا وأعمالنا كلها. اللهم بارك في هذا المسجد ومن صلى فيه ومن أسسه ومن يديره ومن يأتيه ومن يتبرع له يا رب العالمين. آمين آمين آمين. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. وأنت يا أخي أقم الصلاة.